Microsoft 365 Mega Siemens 102 Exam Prep 2026. This is part of the complete course. You can get the link in description of complete practice questions with explanations, which will help you get your certification. How to use this guide to learn quickly. Hello friends, and welcome. I know studying for the MS 102 exam can feel like a big job. But don't worry, I am here to help you. The best way to use this guide is to read one section at a time. Do not rush. Read the details first, and try to understand the story I am telling you. When you look at the questions, try to guess the answer before you read the explanation. If you get it wrong, that is okay. Mistakes help us learn. Take a break after every section. Grab a coffee, or walk around for 5 minutes. This helps your brain remember what you just read. We have broken this down into simple parts. We will look at how to set up the system, how to manage users, and how to keep everything safe. Trust yourself, keep practicing, and you will do great. Let's get started. Section 1. Setting up your tenant and services. The details. Imagine you are building a new office building. Before people can move in, you need to make sure the building has a proper address and that the utilities like water and electricity work. In Microsoft 365, this building is called your tenant. The first thing you usually do is set up your domain name. This is like your street address on the internet. .com, from a place like GoDaddy. You have to tell Microsoft 365 that you own this name. You do this by adding a specific text record, called a TXT record, to your DNS settings. It works like a secret code that proves the name belongs to you. Once the address is ready, you need to check the health of your building. Microsoft gives you a dashboard called Service Health. If Outlook is not working, or if Teams is slow, you should look here first. It is like a traffic report for your services. It tells you if the problem is on your side, or if Microsoft is fixing something on their side. You also need to decide how your organization works. This is called the organizational profile. Here, you set things like your company name, the technical contact person, and what kind of release options you want. This is good for testing things, but be careful. Sometimes new features have bugs, so don't use this for everyone in the company. Practice questions. Q1. You bought a new domain name for your company. You want to use it with Microsoft 365. What is the very first record you must add to verify you own it? Answer: text record. Explanation: Microsoft needs proof that you own the domain. They give you a code, and you put it in a text record. This does not affect your email or website, it just proves ownership. Q2. Users are complaining that they cannot send emails. You want to see if Microsoft is having a server problem. Where do you go? Answer: Service Health Dashboard. Explanation: this dashboard shows the status of all Microsoft services. If their servers are down, it will show up here. Q3. You want your IT team to see new Microsoft features before the rest of the company gets them. What setting do you change? Answer: targeted release for selected users. Explanation: this lets a small group of people test new updates early. The rest of the company stays on the standard release, which is more stable. Q4. You need to send email using your new domain name. Which DNS record handles the delivery of mail? Answer: MX record. Explanation: MX stands for mail exchange. This record tells the Internet where to send emails addressed to your domain. Q5. A user reports they cannot access OneDrive. You check service health, and it shows everything is green, good. What is likely the problem? Answer. The issue is likely with the user's computer or Internet, not Microsoft. Explanation. Since Service Health says Microsoft is fine, you should troubleshoot the local device or network connection. Q6. You want to use a feature that requires a specific license type. Where in the admin center do you check how many licenses you have left? Answer. Billing, your products. Explanation. This section lists all the licenses you bought and how many are assigned or available. Q7. Your company uses a hybrid environment, cloud and on-premise. You need to see if the sync between them is healthy. Where do you look? Answer. Azure AD Connect Health, or Microsoft Entra Connect Health. Explanation. This tool monitors the connection between your local servers and the cloud to make sure users are syncing correctly. Q8. You need to give a partner access to your SharePoint, but you don't want to buy them a license. What do you use? Answer. Guest access. Explanation. Guest access allows people outside your company to access resources without needing a full paid license from your tenant. Q9. You are setting up a new tenant. Which role has the highest level of access and can control everything? Answer. Global Administrator. Explanation. This is the superuser account. It can manage all aspects of the tenant. You should limit how many people have this role. Q10. You need to search for a specific error log across all users to find a pattern. What tool helps you explore this data? Answer. Log Analytics in Azure Monitor. Explanation. This tool allows you to run queries on data to find specific trends or errors across the organization. Q11. You want to change the theme and logo for everyone who logs into your Microsoft 365 portal. Where is this setting? Answer. Organization Settings, Organization Profile, Custom Themes. Explanation. This lets you brand the portal so it looks like your company's internal site. Q12. Your company has offices in different countries. You want to ensure the data stays in their specific region. What feature is this? Answer. Multi-geo capabilities. Explanation. This allows a single tenant to store data in different geographic locations to meet legal rules. Q13. A user accidentally deleted a user account. How many days do you have to restore it before it is gone forever? Answer. 30 days. Explanation. When you delete a user, they go into a soft delete stage for 30 days. After that, the data is permanently removed. But the verification fails. You check the text record and it is correct. What might be the reason? Answer. DNS propagation delay. Explanation. Sometimes it takes a few minutes or hours for DNS changes to spread across the Internet. You often just need to wait. Q15. What is the main benefit of using the Microsoft 365 Admin mobile app? Answer. You can manage common tasks and view health status on the go. Explanation. It allows admins to reset passwords or check service health without needing a computer. Section 2. Managing identities and roles. The details. Now that the house is built, we need to manage the people living in it. In Microsoft 365, a user is an identity. This identity is usually an email address and a password. There are two main ways to make users. You can make them directly in the cloud, cloud only, or you can copy them from your local office server, hybrid. Most big companies use hybrid. They use a tool called Microsoft Entra Connect, formerly Azure AD Connect, to copy users from their local server to the cloud. This is great because users can use the same password for everything. We also have groups. Instead of giving permission to 50 people one by one, you put them in a group. Then, you give permission to the group. It saves you a lot of time. There are different groups. A security group is for giving access to resources. A Microsoft 365 group is for collaboration, like a team that shares a calendar and files. Let's talk about roles. A role is like a job title. Not everyone should be the boss. The global admin is the big boss who can do anything. But you should not use this account for daily email. It is too risky. That password, they get everything. Instead, give people only the access they need. This is called the principle of least privilege. Practice questions Q1. You have a local server and want to sync users to the cloud. What tool do you install? Answer: Microsoft Entra Connect. Explanation: this software runs on your local server and copies user data to Microsoft 365. Q2. You want a group of users to share a mailbox and a calendar. Which group type is best? Answer: Microsoft 365 group. Explanation: this group type automatically creates a shared workspace, email, and calendar for the members. Q3. A new IT staff member needs to manage user licenses, but should not be able to change global settings. What role do you assign? Answer: User Administrator. Explanation: this role allows managing users and licenses, but does not give full control over the whole system. Q4. You want to double-check that your sync tool is working correctly and no errors are happening. Where do you look? Answer: Synchronization Service Manager, on the local server, or Entra Connect Health. Explanation: these tools show the logs of the sync process and alert you to any failures. Q5. What is the main difference between a security group and a distribution group? Answer: security groups are for permissions, distribution groups are for sending emails. Q6. You want to ensure that if a specific admin is away, another admin can still access the global admin account in an emergency. What is this account called? Answer: break glass account, or emergency access account. Explanation: this is a special account, not linked to a specific person, used only when everything else fails. Q7. You need to create a user who helps manage Teams settings but nothing else. What role is this? Answer: Teams Administrator. Explanation: this is a specific workload role. It gives full control over Teams but no access to Exchange or SharePoint settings. Q8. You deleted a Microsoft 365 group. What happens to the files in the SharePoint site connected to it? Answer: they are deleted but can be restored for 30 days. Explanation: since the group connects everything, deleting the group deletes the associated resources, but they go to the recycle bin first. Q9. You want to invite a vendor to work on a project, but they have a Gmail address. What feature do you use? Answer: B2B collaboration, guest user. Explanation: this lets you invite external users with their own existing email addresses into your tenant. Q10. How can you force users to change their password the next time they log in? Answer: check the "Require this user to change their password when they first sign in" box. Explanation: this ensures the user sets a private password that the admin does not know. Q11. You want to use a dynamic group where members are added automatically based on their department. What do you need to set up? Answer: dynamic user membership rule. The system handles the rest. Q12. What license is required to use dynamic groups? Answer: Microsoft Entra ID P1 or P2. Explanation: basic free accounts do not support dynamic grouping. You need a premium license. Q13. An employee leaves the company. What is the first thing you should do to their account? Answer: reset the password and block sign in. Explanation: this stops them from accessing company data immediately while you decide what to do with their files. Q14. You want to bulk create 100 users at once. What file format do you use to upload them? Answer: CSV file. Explanation: our comma-separated values file allows you to list all user details and upload them in one go. Q15. What is PIM, Privileged Identity Management? Answer: a system to give admin access only when needed, for a short time. Explanation: instead of being an admin 24/7, a user requests access for 2 hours to do a job, then the access is removed. Section 3. Access and authentication. The details security is very important. You need to verify that the person logging in is actually who they say they are. The old way was just a password. But passwords can be stolen. So, we now use MFA, multi-factor authentication. This means you need two things: something you know, password, and something you have, phone. Always turn this on for your admins. There is a smart feature called conditional access. Think of this like a bouncer at a club door. The bouncer checks rules before letting you in. You can make a rule that says, if the user is in the office, let them in easily. This keeps things safe without annoying users when they are in a safe place. We also have self-service password reset, SSPR. This is a great tool. It lets users reset their own forgotten passwords without calling the help desk. It saves the IT team a lot of time. But, you must set it up so users register their phone numbers or alternate emails first. Another thing to look at is Windows Hello for Business. This replaces passwords with a PIN or your face, biometrics, on your laptop. It is actually safer than a password because the key stays on the device and is not sent over the internet. Q1. You want to ensure that admins always use MFA, but regular users only use it when outside the office. What do you use? Answer: conditional access policies. Explanation: this allows you to apply different security rules based on the user's location or risk level. Q2. A user forgot their password and is calling the help desk. You want him to be able to fix it themselves next time. What do you enable? Answer: SSPR, self-service password reset. Explanation: this feature allows users to reset their own credentials after verifying their identity. Q3. What is the most secure method for MFA? Answer: Microsoft Authenticator app, number matching. Explanation: SMS codes can be intercepted. The app is more secure, especially with number matching to prevent accidental approvals. Q4. You want to block users from logging in from countries where you do not do business. How do you do this? Answer. Create a named location for those countries and use conditional access to block them. Explanation. You define the blocked countries in Entra ID and set a policy to deny access from those locations. Q5. What is passwordless authentication? Answer. Logging in without typing a password, using methods like FIDO2 keys or the Authenticator app. Explanation. It removes the risk of weak or stolen passwords entirely. Q6. A user is trying to log in, but their account is locked due to too many bad attempts. What is this feature called? Answer. Smart Lockout. Explanation. This protects against brute force attacks where hackers try to guess passwords over and over. Q7. You want to enable SSPR for a specific group of users first to test it. Where do you configure this? Answer. Entra Admin Center, Password Reset, Properties. Explanation. You can choose Selected and pick a specific group to pilot the feature. Q8. If you enable combined registration, what does it do? Answer. It lets users register for MFA and SSPR at the same time. Explanation. This improves the user experience so they don't have to register their phone number twice. Q9. You want to stop users from creating simple passwords like password 123. What do you use? Answer. Password protection, custom ban list. Explanation. You can add specific words to a banned list that cannot be used in passwords. Q10. What is the benefit of Windows Hello for Business? Answer. It uses biometrics or a PIN tied to the specific device. Explanation. Even if someone steals the PIN, they cannot log in unless they also steal the physical laptop. Q11. In conditional access, what is grant control? Explanation. After the conditions, who, where, are met, the grant control decides what happens next. Q12. You want to require MFA only for the Global Administrator role. How do you target this? Answer. In conditional access, select Directory roles and choose Global Administrator. Explanation. This applies the policy specifically to the role, regardless of which person holds it. Q13. What happens if a user loses their phone and cannot do MFA? Answer. An admin must require them to re-register their MFA method or provide a temporary access pass. Explanation. The admin resets the authentication method so the user can set up a new device. Why is this bad? Answer. Legacy protocols, like POP3, do not support MFA. Explanation. Hackers often use these old protocols to bypass security. You should block them. Q15. What is an access review? Answer. A process where owners check if users still need access to a group or app. Explanation. This helps clean up old access that is no longer needed. Section 4. Security and Threat Protection. The details. The Internet has many threats, like viruses and phishing emails. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 is your shield. It protects your email and files. One common attack is a bad link in an email. A feature called Safe Links helps here. When you click a link, Microsoft scans it instantly. If the link is bad, it stops you. This happens even if the link looked safe when the email first arrived. Another tool is safe attachments. When an email comes with a file, Microsoft takes that file and opens it in a secret virtual room, sandbox. It watches to see if the file tries to do something bad. If the file is safe, it delivers the email. If not, it deletes it. We also need to worry about phishing. This is when a hacker pretends to be your boss to trick you. Anti-phishing policies look for these tricks. They check if the sender's name looks like someone important in your company, but comes from a strange email address. You can monitor all of this in the Microsoft 365 Defender portal. This is a number that tells you how safe you are. If you follow their advice, your score goes up. Practice questions Q1. You want to protect users from clicking on malicious links in emails. What feature do you turn on? Answer: safe links. Explanation: this scans URLs in real time when the user clicks them. Q2. You want to ensure that files sent via email are not viruses. You don't mind if email delivery is delayed slightly for scanning. What do you use? Answer: safe attachments. Explanation: this detonates the file in a sandbox environment to check for malicious behavior before delivery. Q3. What does Zero-Hour Auto Purge (ZAP) do? Answer: it removes malicious emails from the inbox even after they have been delivered. Explanation: if Microsoft discovers a new spam or phishing attack, ZAP can reach into the mailbox and remove the bad email user has already received. Q4. You receive an alert that a user is sending out thousands of spam emails. What likely happened? Answer: the user's account is compromised. Explanation: a hacker likely stole their password and is using the account to send spam. You should block the account immediately. Q5. What is the secure score? Answer: a measurement of your security posture. Explanation: it gives you a rating and a list of recommended actions to improve your security. Q6. You want to stop emails that look like they come from your CEO but are actually from external Gmail accounts. What policy helps? Answer: anti-phishing policy, impersonation protection. Explanation: you can specify key users, like the CEO, to watch for. If an email tries to impersonate them, it gets blocked. Q7. A user reports a legitimate email was sent to junk. How do you fix this for the future? Answer: submit the email to Microsoft for analysis and whitelist the sender if necessary. Explanation: reporting the false positive helps train the AI filters. Q8. What is attack simulation training? Answer: a tool to send fake phishing emails to your own employees to test them. Explanation: if they click the fake link, it assigns them training so they learn how to spot real attacks. Q9. Where do you go to view reports on malware detected in your organization? Answer: Microsoft 365 Defender portal, reports, email and collaboration. Explanation: this section provides detailed charts on spam, malware, and phishing attempts. Q10. You want to prevent users from sending sensitive credit card numbers via email. Is this a Defender feature? Answer: no, this is a data loss prevention (DLP) feature. Explanation: Defender protects against incoming threats. DLP protects outgoing sensitive data. Q11. What is quarantine? Answer: a holding area for suspicious emails. Explanation: admins, and sometimes users, can review emails here to decide if they are safe to release or should be deleted. Q12. Can safe links protect links in Microsoft Teams? Answer: yes. Explanation: safe links policies can be applied to Teams, Office apps, and email. Q13. You want to protect against spoofing, where a sender fakes your domain. What DNS records help with this? Answer: SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Explanation: these three records work together to verify that the email sender is authorized to use your domain name. Q14. What is the dynamic delivery option in safe attachments? Answer: it delivers the email body immediately but holds the attachment until scanning is done. Explanation: this lets the user read the message without waiting, while the file is being checked. Q15. How often should you check the restricted entities page? Answer: regularly, or when you get an alert. Explanation: this page lists accounts that have been blocked from sending email due to suspicious activity. Section 5. Compliance and data loss prevention. The details. Now we look at compliance. This means following the rules and keeping data safe. The biggest tool here is DLP, data loss prevention. Imagine you don't want employees to email credit card numbers to people outside the company. You create a DLP policy. This policy scans emails and documents. If it sees a credit card number, it can block the email or warn the user. It is like a gatekeeper that stops secrets from leaving. We also have sensitivity labels. These are digital stamps you put on documents. If a document is labeled top secret, you can make rules that say it cannot be printed or forwarded. The protection travels with the file, even if you put it on a USB drive. Retention policies are about time. How long do you keep an email? Some laws say you must keep financial emails for 7 years. A retention policy ensures that even if a user deletes the email, the system keeps a copy in the background for 7 years. On the other hand, you might want to delete chat messages after 1 year to save space. Retention handles both keeping and deleting. Practice questions. Q1. You want to stop employees from emailing customer social security numbers outside the company. What do you create? Answer: a data loss prevention (DLP) policy. Explanation: DLP detects sensitive patterns, like SSNs, and blocks the transmission. Q2. You need to keep all emails from the finance team for 10 years for legal reasons. What do you use? Answer: retention policy. Explanation: this ensures data is preserved for a set time, even if the user tries to delete it. Q3. What happens to a document labeled confidential if a user copies it to a USB drive? Answer: the protection stays with the file. Explanation: sensitivity labels encrypt the file. Without the right login, the file on the USB drive cannot be opened. Q4. You want to find all emails that contain the word Project X for a legal case. What tool do you use? Answer: e-discovery, content search. Explanation: this allows you to search across the entire organization's data for legal or investigative purposes. Q5. A user deletes a file protected by a retention policy. Does the user see it disappear? Answer: yes, it disappears from their view. Explanation: the user thinks it is gone, but the system keeps a copy in a hidden preservation hold library until the retention period ends. If it has a credit card number, label it confidential. What do you need? Answer: auto-labeling requires an E5 license. Explanation: the system scans files and applies labels without the user needing to do anything. Q7. What is the difference between a retention label and a retention policy? Answer: a policy applies to a whole location, like a mailbox. A label applies to a specific item, like one document. Explanation: labels are more granular. Users can tag specific important files to be kept longer. Q8. You need to ensure that no one, not even admins, can change a retention policy once it is set. What is this called? Answer: preservation lock. Explanation: this locks the policy so it cannot be turned off or shortened. This is often required for strict financial regulations. Q9. Where do you go to create these policies? Answer: Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. Explanation: this is the dedicated center for all compliance, risk, and data governance tasks. Q10. You want to alert an admin if a user shares a large number of files externally in a short time. What is this? Answer: insider risk management. Explanation: this looks for risky behavior from employees, such as downloading mass data before resigning. Q11. Can DLP protect data in Microsoft Teams chats? Answer: yes. Explanation: DLP can block sensitive information in chat messages, just like in email. Q12. What is information barriers? Answer: a policy to stop two groups from communicating. Explanation: for example, preventing the investment team from talking to the advisory team to avoid conflicts of interest. Q13. You want to audit who viewed a specific sensitive document. Where do you look? Answer: audit log search. Explanation: the audit log records activities like viewing, deleting, or modifying files. Q14. A user complains they cannot open an old email because it is encrypted. What might be the issue? Answer: their account may no longer have the rights to the sensitivity label used. Explanation: encryption verifies identity. If the user's status changed, they might lose access. Q15. What is the content search tool used for? Answer: to find and export data from mailboxes, SharePoint, and Teams without changing it. Explanation: it is a basic search tool for admins to locate information across the tenant. Section 6. Device Management, Intune. The details: the final piece is managing devices, laptops, phones, and tablets. We use Microsoft Intune for this. Imagine buying 100 laptops. In the old days, IT had to set up each one manually. Now, we use Windows Autopilot. You send the laptop directly to the employee's house. When they turn it on and connect to Wi-Fi, Autopilot takes over. It installs the apps and settings automatically. We also have compliance policies for devices. Do not confuse this with the compliance in Section 5. It checks if the phone has a password, if it is encrypted, and if it is not jailbroken. If a device is lost or stolen, you can use Remote Wipe. There are two types. A full wipe deletes everything, good for company phones. A selective wipe, or app wipe, only deletes company data, good for personal phones. Practice questions Q1. You want to set up new laptops so they are ready for work as soon as the user connects to Wi-Fi. What do you use? Answer: Windows Autopilot. Explanation: this automates the setup process, installing apps and settings without IT touching the device. Q2. You want to ensure that only healthy devices, with antivirus on, can access company email. What two things do you need? Answer: Intune compliance policy and conditional access. Explanation: Intune checks if the device is healthy. Conditional access checks that status before letting the user log in. Q3. An employee lost their personal phone which they used for work email. You want to remove only the work data. What action do you take? Answer: selective wipe or retire. Explanation: this removes corporate apps and data but leaves personal photos and apps alone. Q4. You want to push a specific app, like Chrome, to all Windows 10 devices. Where do you do this? Answer: Intune, Endpoint Manager, greater than apps. Explanation: you can package and deploy applications to all managed devices remotely. Q5. What is the difference between MDM and MAM? Answer: MDM manages the whole device. MAM manages only the applications. Explanation: MDM takes control of the phone. MAM only controls the Outlook app on the phone. What does this mean? Answer: it failed a check, such as having a weak password or missing antivirus. Explanation: the device does not meet the security standards you set. Q7. You want to prevent users from copy-pasting text from Outlook to their personal Facebook app on their phone. What policy do you use? Answer: App Protection Policy, MAM. Explanation: this creates a container around corporate apps so data cannot move to personal apps. Q8. To use Windows Autopilot, what unique information do you need from the laptop hardware? Answer: the hardware hash. Explanation: this unique ID registers the specific physical device to your tenant. Where is this setting? Answer: Device Compliance Policy Settings. Explanation: you can set a rule that instantly marks jailbroken devices as non-compliant. Q10. What is the Enrollment Status Page, ESP? Answer: the screen users see during autopilot setup that shows progress. Explanation: it prevents the user from using the desktop until all required apps and policies are installed. Q11. Can Intune manage Mac computers? Answer: yes. Explanation: Intune supports Windows, iOS, Android, macOS, and Linux. Q12. You want to force a restart on all devices to install a Windows update. What tool do you use? Answer: Windows Update for Business, via Intune. Explanation: you can control when updates are installed and force restarts if needed. Q13. What happens if you delete a device from Intune? Answer: it is removed from management and can no longer access company resources if conditional access is required. Explanation: the device becomes unmanaged. Q14. You have a kiosk computer that many people use. You want it to only run one specific app. What is this configuration? Answer: kiosk mode. Explanation: this locks the device to a single application or a specific set of experiences. Q15. How do you register a personal Android phone into Intune usually? Answer: download the company portal app and sign in. Explanation: the company portal app guides the user through the enrollment process. Congratulations! You have finished the practice section. You are doing great. Remember, the key to passing MS 102 is understanding why we do things, not just memorizing buttons. Would you like to get the full detailed course? Check the link in the description to get the complete practice questions with explanations. It will help you get your certification and become a true expert. Good luck with your exam.